So, a couple weeks ago, my husband felt led to go somewhere, and we did. And we heard a message that the Lord just spoke so clear through. A part of the message was about a guy who was a part of the Black Hawk Down mission in Somalia. They were flying helicopters in during that particular mission, and one of their guys actually fell out of the helicopter and was badly injured. And he said that this particular guy that he was talking about, they sent him out in a Humvee to go and get him. And he said he had to fight his way in. He said he had to go and get him loaded. And then he said as he turned the street corner, he said there was guns aiming at him from every direction, from every door, from every window. I mean, just intense gunfire. He said the people with him, they were getting shot, they were getting killed. He said the back of his Humvee looked like someone had just painted it red. I mean, he said everyone in the Humvee was dying. And when he finally gets back to the base, when he finally makes it back and he's there, he's told, you got to go back. You got to go back out there. But before you do, you need to go and wash all of the blood off of the Humvee, because if any other soldiers get in there and they see the blood, they're going to freak out. So he said he had to go get a bucket of water because they didn't have running water. So he says he goes and gets his bucket of water and he is washing the blood off by hand. And he said on the inside, this guy was like freaking out because he was having to wash his friend's blood off of the Humvee. And he said in that moment, the guy didn't know what else to do but pray. That was the only thing that he knew to do, and that was to pray. And he said as soon as he began to pray, that the Spirit of God and his peace came over him like never before. And he said he came to the realization that he was either going to go home and be with his family, or he was going to go home to be with his father. But either way, he wins. And he said he continued to go out and come back in, and to go out and to come back in. And on the very last trip back in, he said he could barely make it out of his Humvee, and there was men pulling him out of the Humvee. And as they were pulling him out, they were saying to him, how in the world have you remained calm in all of this? How in the world, in the midst of all of this chaos, have you remained calm? We don't understand. You have to tell us about this Jesus that you talk about all of the time. You have to tell us, why are you so different? Why are you so different? And he said in that moment, God gave him a platform to promote Jesus to those that were around him. And when I heard that, it impacted me because I trust in the sovereignty of God. I know that no matter what happens in our life, it has been filtered through the hands and the fingers of God's grace. Whatever battles we face, he knows about it. That we are not fighting alone. And yes, that is a really intense illustration, but it's those fork in the road moments, that we must choose. Are we going to allow the spiritual battle to be too much for us? Or are we going to allow the peace of God to rule in our hearts? We have to choose. We have to choose. And I know that that's not an easy thing sometimes. I really do. I really do. But can I exhort you in the faith? And can I say to you, stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Keep pushing. Keep going out and sharing the gospel. Keep coming back to your word. Keep coming back to your word. Keep doing what God has called you to do. Keep doing what God has called you to do. See, God will use hard things in our life as a platform for his name to be shared to those who desperately need him. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight, because one day we are going home to be with our Father. And if you know Jesus, you win.